What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Alex, I'm a filmmaker based out of St. Louis, and in today's video I want to talk about the importance of hobbies and just time away from work, stepping away from the busy lives we have. As filmmakers, photographers, and just creatives in general, I often feel like we can get caught up in our work, trying to chase that next job, trying to pay the next bill, or on the other side of things, maybe your work is so consistent and you don't know how to shut off at the end of the day. I've dealt with a lot of those things. At the agency I work for, we're filming and editing every single week. The work literally never ends, and although that's a good thing, and I'm lucky enough to have that, that level of consistency can get overwhelming at times. Just in the last few months, I've filmed TV series, a few commercials, some event videos, and then mixed in with editing and pre-planning those shoots. So here are a few hobbies and just guidelines I set for myself to keep me from exhaustion. So the first one is running. I just recently got back into running and I've loved it so far. I can do it whether I have like a little bit of time or a lot of time. I can run short, like 20 to 30 minute run, or I can do it for a few hours, which has been super nice. The second one, which you already know if you follow me on Instagram, is climbing. Huge fan of climbing. It takes a little bit more time, but it's super active, super fun, do it with friends, and it's just a great time, and it's something that I could always take my mind off of, work or anything like that and just relax with my friends, go climbing, super fun. And then the third one that I actually also just recently got back into is fishing. I never thought I would like that, but yeah, fishing's super relaxing. You just casting the little thing out, and I don't know why I just said thing. Just casting out, get a little boat going, just eating some snacks, just fishing. It's relaxing. Those are just the hobbies that I have. Obviously you can do whatever, you want. Just find something that, I think finding a few things actually would be really great. Finding one thing that you can do in a little bit of time if you don't have that much time, or, something that maybe takes a little more time, maybe something with friends, and maybe that's just hanging out with friends, hanging out with family. It doesn't have to be just a hobby. Like, it can just be hanging out with people. Something outside of work. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. So why am I even talking about this? Why? It's pretty obvious for a lot of us, like, yeah, you should have some hobby outside of work, but I kind of want to talk about some of the consequences of, not having hobbies outside of work, or not spending time doing something separate. A really quick example of, how it could affect my job as a DP, I'm on set and I have to run a team, talking to gaffers and directors and all this stuff. If I'm, stressed and like thinking about all this work that I have, and I'm not like with a clear mind, like I'm not gonna be the best version of myself on set. And that's gonna lead to Grumpy Al, and no one wants to deal with Grumpy Al, the DP on set all day. And that's gonna lead also possibly to not getting jobs in the future, because if you're, working with somebody and you have a bad experience with them, you're probably not gonna wanna work with them again. So just having that time to relax outside of work and then come in fresh allows me to be the best version of myself, and also just helps me out creatively on set. As a DP, you want to have that creative eye and shoot the best you can. Another huge one is how it affects your home life. Working all the time and being so consumed in your work can take away from your family. And actually I have a friend that has dealt with this extensively, and here's a word from him actually on this subject. So I know last year you got what seemingly to most people is like the dream job, right? It was photo, video work in the outdoor space. You were shooting photos for Jason Momoa's like Wear Line. Like, it's super cool, but what ended up being the dream job ended up being like a disaster. Kind of talk about that.
So yeah, that job, when I got that job, it was unbelievably cool to me. Like, it was exactly kind of what I wanted to do. It was an opportunity I felt like I couldn't pass up on. I took the job, and because it was so cool and just so crazy, it was everything I really wanted, what I thought I wanted. And of course I said yes, and I just dove straight in. Like, I just emotionally and like internally, kind of subconsciously even invested like my identity into this job, the role that I was playing at this company, and the content that I was making, because it was so cool and stuff. I don't know, my identity was just in this job. And when work didn't go well and it failed me, like if I had a bad day or something, like I would remember, like, I'm investing. It was a 9 to 5. So I was in St. Louis, commuting 30 minutes back and forth every day for I was gone like 9-10 hours. I would come home emotionally drained. I wouldn't be able to provide anything but a paycheck. Like I wasn't there emotionally, I wasn't there spiritually, I wasn't able to lead her to Jesus because I was barely leading myself to Jesus. Like the only thing I was good at was my job, and my life was falling apart because I put my identity in this job. And so I became just a weird, unhealthy workaholic that felt super stuck. And my only option was just to quit. And so that's what I did.
So there's a huge example of like why your work-life balance needs to be on point. And this is, this whole video is relatively about that work-life balance and how to maximize it and how to make it work for you. It's not you've maybe found a hobby or something, hang out with friends. You have to make it a priority to do that. You can have a bunch of hobbies and all these different things, but if you don't make it a priority in your schedule, then it's never gonna happen and you're gonna consistently be caught up in work. So let's talk about scheduling. I think a great place to start is just making like a basic schedule for yourself throughout the week. So for me, and I know a lot of other people do this, completely different than me, but I basically work from 9, 10 to like a soft cutoff at 6. I will put my work down at 6, no later, unless I'm like on set or I have a deadline due, then I'm gonna work past 6. And most of the time I'm actually working from like the 9 to 5, classic 9 to 5. I know a lot of people are like nocturnal and they work better at night. So, making a schedule that works best for you. I know in our line of work, it's kind of hard to make a pretty routine schedule with shoots being at all different times throughout the week and different things like that. But I think a great first step is trying to create a basic schedule that you work in those, those lines. And then outside of that is whatever other things you want to do. So this next one kind of goes in the vacation, travel kind of section. I very much believe in taking like a vacation every year. I know like in other countries, they take like really long vacations. I might be wrong, but I feel like I read that somewhere. I don't know. I know a lot of people that sometimes just don't take vacations. And I know sometimes budget-wise it's pretty hard, but I always try to take like a vacation a year at minimum. I take more than most people. I feel like I'm like trying to do like 2 to 3 if I can, which I know is a luxury for sure. But I'm also going on like trying to make them super cheap, trips. Like I'm living out of my car, and doing that thing. If that's not your thing, that's fine. But I guess the whole point of me saying this is like creating a time for like a week or so that is an extended period of time where you can just relax and do whatever you want. And it actually doesn't even have to be, away from home on a crazy vacation or anything. You could literally just take a week and do a home, what is it, homecation? No, staycation, that's it. You can do a staycation for a week. But the reason I say this is there is something that is so refreshing with just not working for a week, just relaxing. And my thing, I love going out and camping for a week or 2 is my method of that. But I've always like done that and super refreshed. Last year I was in some of the busiest seasons of my life. I was working at a church, also working at the agency. I had all these projects going on. It was a super busy season for me, and like I was able to finish all that. And then right after I finished that, I went to Wyoming for a week. And it was the most rejuvenating, like relaxing thing. And I came back ready, refreshed to get back to all of my work. Another step is, this isn't necessarily scheduling, but it's just realizing that not everything is filmmaking. There was a huge portion of my time, and I feel like I'm just now, like literally like this last month, like finally realizing this, but not everything is filmmaking. I'm always looking up, camera gear and just like movies and different commercials and how they shot things, and I love that, and I think that is a great way to learn, and I think you should involve yourself in all of that. But I think if you only do that, and that is your identity, it's not healthy, in my opinion, to make your sole identity like a filmmaker. Like, I'm a filmmaker, and this is what I do, and this is all I care about, because that's an easy way to get burnt out and just exhausted with your work. And I hear a lot of people saying like, when your hobby becomes your job, it's no more fun. And then, and I've definitely dealt with burnout in that regard, like a whole bunch in my life with photography, filmmaking. And I think that just realizing that not everything is filmmaking, and you can have a life completely separate from filmmaking or photography or whatever it is you do, and that's okay, and it's a healthy thing that you should commit to. This is a pretty basic topic. I just wanted to kind of make this video as more of like a reminder, like find a hobby, find something to do, hang out with your friends more, hang out with your family more, make that, put this in your mind, because like I said, I think it's really important just that we can give ourselves this time, and that is really how we can grow as creatives, because it takes our mind off of the work and it lets us, you know, have that empty gap for more creativity. So yeah, that's a pretty short video. Thank you guys for watching. I hope that you implement more time for yourself, for your family, for hobbies into your work. I know it can be really difficult with our busy lives, but I think if you make it a priority, it'll make your life a whole lot better. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay tuned for some videos upcoming. A lot of people have been asking me like low light on the Scarlet W, so that's a video I'm making, shooting a commercial next week. So I should do a behind the scenes on that one and some other things like that. So stay tuned for those. I think that's it. Love you, live your life, have fun. We'll see you next time. Peace.